ED 2024, and it's a loosey-goosey The Hake Report show, everybody. Check it out. Oh, yeah, hold on. Complicated business. Hang on one moment. We had a brutal show yesterday, did we not? The whole stream went down. Sorry about that, guys. I don't think it was my fault. We're live on Rumble, YouTube, D Live. What's up, people? What's up, people? Had some interesting calls going, and then all of your calls dropped. Don't take it personally, okay? It dropped. It wasn't my fault. The lines are filling up, guys. There is one line open, though. You can call in 1-888-775-3773. Some Hake news things that I'd like to get to today. Space is so real. Let me show you guys the beautiful bubbling brook. Shall I? Can I? Oh, yeah. Isn't this nice? We are looking at the beautiful bubbling stream or flowing stream in off the trail to Mount Wilson, California. San Gabriel Mountains, I think. They're trying to raise the minimum wage, the federal minimum wage. I told you Hake was on it, and base Trump knows not to do that. Look, there's Hake again. So right on. Mess going on in the world. Maybe I should turn that down a little bit. Should I turn that down? It is beautiful. I guess we'll leave it for now. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? No. I don't think it had anything to do with the election talk. I don't think it had anything to do with the election talk. I think it just had to do with the fact that something bad went down, real bad. So, anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show. Hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Got my nice spiffy t-shirt, collared shirt on. What do you think, huh? I bought it at Ross. It's Volcom. I like to say Volcom because it just sounds better to me. So, we're still listening to the beautiful bubbling brook and looking at the granite. The granite water. So nice. I'd like to get to a call or two, guys. You guys dropped. I wasn't able to get to you. It's terrible. So I'd like to get to HADEN. HADEN. In, I believe, Texas. Is this HADEN in Texas, man?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Hey, it's good to hear from you, man. Thanks for calling.
How's it going, Hake?
Going well.
Man, your colored callers give us a reason every day why they don't belong here, number one, and how unpatriotic they are to this country. Do you know what I'm referring to?
You wouldn't happen to be referring to my friend and your friend Ronnie from Ohio, who thinks that Kamala's more qualified than Trump?
Well, him too, but also the moron in Phoenix, and also that Jimmy guy out of Nevada. Jimmy in Nevada was off the deep end, just beside himself. Woo. I mean, they show how truly unpatriotic they are. I mean, you use language like ignorance and bigotry and hatred. I mean, what kind of conservative uses that kind of language, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ronnie still belongs here. He's just a mess. He's just, when I say a mess, I think his thinking is off, personally. But that Jimmy, he's another story. He belongs here too, but he belongs on maybe I disavow watch lists. I was going to say he belongs on a watch list. He belongs in his prayer closet to calm himself down.
Yeah. They belong on some kind of watch list.
No, I disavow those because they're trying to watch list us. Don't watch list people.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, hey, that was sick. That truly was sick what he said the other day, and it shows his true intentions on your show number one, and on free speech by itself.
Oh, are you referring to Joe at this point? Joe in Phoenix?
Yeah. Joe from Phoenix.
Yeah. He's not for freedom of speech. He's not for the truth, really.
Right.
He is for shutting people down in the name of the law and falsely blaming peacemakers for crimes that he and his ilk are part of provoking. They have a hand in provoking it, scaremongering it,
right,
creating the monster that they're pretending to fight. So evil.
I mean, like, think about it from his perspective, though. I mean, he's been calling in for 5+ years, trying to get a gotcha out of you, and he's failed every single time. And it bugs. If that were me, and if I was in his position and I was listening to your show, and I disagree with it that much, it would drive me crazy too. He just cannot get you on any point.
Right.
And it just drives him nuts, you know?
Yeah. That man, lovable Joe from Phoenix, the serpent in the garden. You have to. That's an example of why you need to love your enemies. You better love your enemies if you want to survive in the world, because if he is able to provoke you or catch you in his traps, because he's always setting traps, then he has you, and he's going to pull you down into hell with himself. And he'll think that he's doing something good in the world.
Yeah, you don't want to make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
In a bad way, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
interesting, man. It's good to hear from you.
One more thing. If I were to send you something, and it's PG rated, would you show it on your show?
I'll check it out, definitely, and I might show it. Sometimes people send me tips that I appreciate tips. I'm not always able to get to them, but definitely appreciate them. Feel free.
How about this? I'll send it to you. It's a book. It's a quick read. I'll give you a hint. It'll take you 1 second to read. Okay.
Nice. Right on. Is it a book of Kamala's accomplishments?
Oh no! You know about it?
Yeah, I heard about it.
You saw it?
Yeah, that's funny, man. So
Man,
I just saved you some postage.
Exactly. I was hoping you wouldn't have seen it, man.
Well, I'm glad you gave me the hint. A book of Kamala's accomplishments. It is about this thick and it's filled with empty pages, people.
I was laughing so hard when I saw that.
Nice. I like those. I like that type of book.
I know. It's good humor, PG rated.
Yeah, totally.
It's all good fun, you know?
Indeed.
All right, well, God bless. Keep doing what you do. And people like me are full support of your show, Jesse's show. Keep going at it. Ignore all the dumbness that comes onto your show, okay?
Cool, man. Thanks, dude.
All right, Hake.
All right. Bye.
Have a good day now.
All right. Take care. Oh, man. I accidentally hung up on somebody else. Oh, Hake is such a boomer. Turd flying monkey. Don't say that word, kids. Terrifying monkey. If I say it fast, is it 45 says not live on the Rumble feed, had to search you like usual. Wow. Rumble discriminating against Hake. Maybe. And you know what else about Rumble? Can I rant a little bit against Rumble or about Rumble? I like Rumble. I'm live on Rumble. Let me paste it in the YouTube chat. Yes, keeping that. Anyway. I was, figuring out my timestamps because my whole stream dropped. And so I had to combine my two recordings and post it on my Substack, which posts out to my Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. The Hake Report is on all of these podcast platforms. And if you go to the Spotify, it is available on video. It's like a video. It is a video. It's cool, huh? But it's all something cool about Rumble. Let's say something nice about Rumble. My stream dropped for 20 minutes, and then I kicked on the stream again, and it started right back on the same Rumble video link. Same video. So my Rumble video is one continuous video. It just jumps at one point, about an hour, 57, 58 minutes in, and then I go another 34 minutes or something. 25 minutes I was down. Brutal. So that part's cool. But I was figuring out my timestamps because you can put timestamps on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on BitChute, on Rumble, on Odyssey. You can do timestamps. So cool. But I was clicking timestamps on my own video, and every other timestamp I clicked, it was forcing me to watch 5-10 seconds of ads. The heck? Rumble? Get it together. But they're working on it, and I do appreciate them. So that's my little anti-Rumble, pro-Rumble rant. Rumble lets me say the N-word. That's cool, says. Which N-word? Nice? Neighbor? Well, don't answer my question. The N-word is it's like a fun word. It's harmless. It doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. But be wise in your wielding of it. Don't be in a habit of saying it. I encourage you, just so that, if you're having one of those off days, you don't slip and say it when you're not supposed to. Because the ill-humored people will justify black on white crime, or black on Asian crime, or black on black crime. It's so sick. It's so wrong. I'm live on Facebook and X, and I think Punchy. Yes, indeed. What's up, Punchy.tv? What's up, Nicole? Hey. So, hello, everybody. Okay. Greg in Illinois is on the line here. Greg, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
What's up? It's GREGGATRON.
Oh, GREGGATRON.
GREGGATRON.
Nice.
Good. Nice. You had a heck of a stream yesterday there, sir. You good?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm like, what is this loosey-goosey stuff going on here?
That was terrible.
You were all over the place.
I was glad to get to some of the news items. You know what? I'm hearing my voice coming back when I talk to you. Hang on. Go ahead.
But yeah, so I voted yesterday, right?
Early voting.
And yeah, so I live in Illinois, okay?
Yeah. Doxed.
And the lady, I doxed myself this one time. The lady didn't even ask me for my voter ID, right?
Yeah.
So this is how it went. She asked me for my name. I gave her that. She asked me for my date of birth. I gave her that. And then she asked me my current address. And then after that, she gave me a piece of paper, said, can you sign here? As long as the signature you write matches up with your signature 4 years ago, that's all they need. Well, that sounds all fine and dandy, right? But here's the problem. And I'm not saying anybody cheats on either side.
Yeah, of course not.
My thing is, yeah, the elections are always fair and honest. We all know that.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. What if I just say I'm a dead family member who I know? What if I walk in there and say, hey, I'm John Smith, and I just forge John Smith's signature, and I already know his old address? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my only problem. And I'm perfectly comfortable with showing my ID, but
Right.
and then there was a lady next to me who, I guess her address had changed, so she was in a little bit of a pickle. But as long as your address adds up and your signature, that's all they need for the most part. It's crazy.
That is crazy. Oh man. Slightly distracting because I keep on hearing my voice come back to you. But
Let me put my windows up.
I wonder if
And then I heard in New York City it's the same way.
Yeah, I mean it reminds me of the customer service mentality. The customer is always right. You don't question the customer. And so nowadays we have customers who lie. They will say, "Oh, my Uber Eats order came wrong. Give me my money back." Or all kinds of things. So there's these scams. And it's kind of like the honor system. And you can submit some form of proof, but it's easy to fabricate your evidence, your photographic evidence. Like you can mess up how it looks and just say, "Hey, look how it came," or something.
Yeah.
So it's
or use it.
Right.
People do that. They'll buy outfits and then return them after the event is over.
Oh yeah, I knew a guy an Armenian actually, who would like rent tools or buy the tools, and then he'd use them for his job, and then he'd just return it.
Yep. Yep. I used to sell car parts, and I'm not going to say which store I worked for, but a customer would buy brake pads at not a different store from ours, but a different company, and then try to return the bad ones to us.
Wow.
We're like, no, bro, it's not even the same part number because different companies have different part numbers.
Yeah.
So my boss would be like, get your butt out of here. But he didn't say butt.
Right.
Get out of here with that. But,
see,
that's what I have for you.
I somewhat like the old school hard A business owners who don't necessarily just simply trust the customer. I like how convenient it is because I'm not one who lies. So when I have an issue with an order or with something, and I'm not quick to complain either. They're very amicable with me, good customer service. But it goes way too far, and they're just turn themselves over to be abused, and we don't have a high trust society anymore. So
yeah. There are a lot of people who do lie.
Oh yeah.
They know it's less complicated for the company to just agree and give them their money back opposed to asking questions. Then the customer will raise hell. Then they might have to worry about a lawsuit.
Yep.
So I think today they're trained, just give them what they want, give them their money back, and that'll be the end of it.
But it's crazy because for, let's say, an Uber Eats type of thing, Uber, the company, doesn't really suffer because they charge back the store, and the store is a small business that can't afford to just be throwing away food when they did the order right in the first place. I think I covered a segment on this because there was some people on Twitter who are, restaurant owners, and they've run into this type of thing. And so they don't even deal with those services anymore, some of them.
Pretty much.
It's crazy.
It's funny how convenient it is to return stuff, because even I'll return things, and I always try to have an explanation to where it sounds reasonable. I'll tell them what's wrong with the product, how I used it, how long I used it for, why it doesn't work. But the customer service rep isn't even trying to hear all that. She's just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Here you go.
Right.
So you don't even need to explain yourself. They just want as little conflict as possible, which I get it, but still, I know I'm not lying, but
Yeah.
They don't really care if the customer is lying or not. They're kind of in the whole the customer's always right thing.
Yep. It's very true, man. Well, it's great hearing from you, Greggatron. Appreciate
All
you.
right, yep. I got a super chat heading your way, too.
That sounds good. I'll be on the lookout.
All right, see you.
Bye. Speaking of super chats, Big Bump says in California, showing an ID to a poll worker is like giving garlic to a vampire. They're like, oh, no. Don't do that. What are you, some right winger? They'll throw your ballot away if you show your ID. Nah, because, poll workers tend to be liberals. I worked with some poll workers. Some friends of mine were poll workers. And I think they were anchor babies. They might have been illegals, some of them. And they're poll workers now. Just infiltrating the government, some of them. Shout out. Shout out to the illegal commie, POC, foreigner, cheaters. Yes, Trump is an honest person. Over in YouTube, Baldman54 is like, you all really think Trump is honest? Yes. I know he's honest. He's the only honest one in the government. He's the only one who's calling out, you're racist, you're racist. It's all they ever say. Who else says that? Except for normal people. That's Trump. Normal people like, you and me. Depending on who you are. That's all they ever say. You're racist, you're racist. Or the border situation. They're out of control. It's out of control. And they don't care about fixing it. They haven't cared about fixing it since Reagan. And yeah, Reagan did wrong by amnesty. I heard that he regretted it. He did amnesty in exchange for border security. And did they do the border security? No. They let them in. Obama figured out all kinds of ways to bring them in. And so too did Obama administration part 3, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe Biden, and cackling lame-o Kamala Harris, which they're not in charge of it. I think they're being run. And there are many ways to be dishonest, and they find every way. Reagan was the devil, Hake. Come on. No, I think you're thinking about Margaret Thatcher. Reagan was he was a real Christian, I heard, from a respectable source. Does the respectable source know? I don't know. But he was a real Christian. That's what I heard. And so I'm not going to bash him. Kyle gave me a very generous Cash App donation tip thing. Thank you, Kyle. That's cool. Hey. I don't know which Kyle it was. I wonder if it was the Kyle. Shout out, Kyle. Don't play with based Margaret Thatcher. I mean, I liked Margaret Thatcher, too, at the time because she said stuff like, she was kind of working with Reagan. I don't know much history, but I saw one clip in which this socialist guy or some liberal over in England, she was the prime minister of England, right? A woman. But at least she was somewhat conservative or something. She said, the economy is doing great, thank you to capitalism or something like that. And this guy's all, well, you presided over, or you prime ministered over the gap widening between the rich and the poor. But the thing is, the rich got way richer, but the so-called poor got less poor. Everybody got better in the things that they could afford. Their living situation got better. But the rich people got way richer, right? A big wealth gap is not that bad of a problem, is not a problem if a so-called wealth gap, right? They're like, the wealth gap. A wealth gap is not such a problem if the quote-unquote poor people aren't actually that poor, like in America. They're actually living quite fine. It's their own fault, usually, by the way, that they're so-called poor. Yeah, she saved their economy, says Terry. And so she's all, you would rather she said to this man, you would rather that the wealth gap not be so different and you be fine with people being poor so long as the wealth gap is not so big, so long as the rich are not too much rich, quote unquote rich, or like this poor, are not too much richer than the poor. You know what I mean? Hopefully whatever. It's not important. So I liked her for that reason, because of a clip. And because, I don't know, maybe my parents or some other conservatives kind of liked her. Nice. I gotta get to Rick in Hampton, VA. Hampton, Virginia. Rick, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you.
Man, brother James, what's going on with me, man? I mean, with you, man.
Not too much.
One thing I need to ask you, man.
Yeah.
If you see Jesse doing the show, I apologize for that because, you know, I work on a military base, and sometimes I have a bad area, and I be trying to avoid as best I can, but sometimes I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't mean to do that.
We heard when JLP went to you, and he heard you talking in the background, so I don't think it was your connection. I think you were just away from your phone for a moment talking with somebody.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And that's probably true, too. I still talk to, dispatchers and stuff, so it's like the police call. You know how they dispatch, so I do that as well.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm an HVAC tech by trade, and when they call me, they be responding me to the jobs that they need me to do, you know.
Yeah.
Like a dispatcher. So
well,
that's why. So I just want to let y'all know I'm not trying to waste y'all time on y'all show.
I shall pass along your apology. If you ever have to step away, you can hang up and just try to call back. I get that sometimes the lines do fill up. Yeah, just step away, close, hang up, and then hang up if you have to step away, and then call back. I know it can be tough because then you may lose your.
Yeah, that's the only reason why
lines may fill up.
Doing that, because especially I've been waiting to get in y'all's show, and that's whole crap now I can't get back on. But yeah, I do that, man, before I waste time, because I know time is valuable on shows, man. So
indeed,
I would do that there, James. Consider that done, my brother.
Right on. So what's up?
You know, well, kids, you know why Democrats like the public school system so much?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw this debate with Byron Donalds and this guy named Gary. He was some activist from Louisiana. He ran for Senate one time. He was smoking pot while he was campaigning, and a person like that would never get my vote.
Wow.
I think you probably remember that, huh?
Not
yeah, I think he ran against RFK Jr. He was in Louisiana. So him and Byron Donalds had a debate, and he's talking just a stone cold Democrat, and and Byron Donalds comes from a white district where he did the schools and stuff. Where he was like over the schools a little bit, like an advisor or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come up and say, "Well, since you wasn't over our black black schools, how can you tell them what to do? You never was over our black school." That don't have nothing to do with it. As long as he can do the job, that's all that counts.
Oh, interesting.
You know? Yeah, if you get a chance, look at that debate. I think it was about an hour or something. But
okay.
Pastor Figaro hosted the interview, and Bowling Ball Roland Martin was there as always.
Lord have mercy. Interesting. So Byron Donalds had a debate with another a liberal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but liberal, this guy's either progressive or just. I guess he's like, as long as it's legal, you can do it, if you would.
Interesting.
So,
well, thank you for the tip, man.
Yeah, and the public school is the first channel to make kids liberals. The public school system is.
That's so true. It's gotten worse too.
Yeah.
You know, I look back though, and I see even Sesame Street from my day when I was a kid was liberal. It was started by some liberal communist woman, probably.
Sesame Street was liberal?
Yeah, Sesame Street was liberal. They were just off the deep. They were diverse. It was pushing recycling, and all kinds of stuff. And you know, some of that stuff is not that bad, but some of that stuff is bad. And it's also a liberal propaganda agenda, very unchristian, very secular. And It's imitating Christianity to pretend to replace Christianity. Doing a false imitation of Christianity in order to replace it and pretend like we don't need Christianity. People are just moral naturally. And they're not. They're immoral naturally.
No, exactly. We need to get back with God in order to be morally upright, if anything.
Yep.
You know, I don't know why. How do people get this point that we don't need God? You know, I always ask people, until you could explain to me, any liberal, any person that don't believe in God, always ask this question, Brother James. If you cannot find a person that can sustain human life, then there's a God.
Interesting.
You can't tell me one person that can sustain human life and they can make the earth do what it do, because the earth, to my understanding, tips 1 degree off, we flood.
Right.
So if you find me a genius that can sustain the earth and human life, then I don't believe there's no God.
Yeah.
But ain't no one passed that question yet when I ask them that.
Good point.
You know, so it's always it's crazy, and they use the public school system. Now the colleges have gotten into it.
Yeah, true.
So
the colleges are worse, but they're they're poisoning even preschool. And then you know what?
What's that?
Biden and these evil people, they want to do universal pre-kindergarten or preschool, and they want to do free child care. They want to get at your children young to brainwash them.
Exactly.
If they can't brainwash you, they'll brainwash your children.
Right. You know, and that's why I can speak for the black community. That's why they have a hard time breaking the democratic cycle. It's because number one, they get it. It starts in the family, in the household.
Yeah.
Then it goes to their neighborhood and their friends and stuff. Then after that, when they go to school, they get more liberalism. So they're getting 12 years of being a Democrat. Then when they push them off to college, they're getting another 4 to 6 years of being a Democrat. And then they using urban radio, black organizations, to keep them victimization. And it's almost, man, if a black person don't grab on to God, that's where they get their information from. Most of you can ask any black person, you don't like Trump? Oh, he's racist. Where did you get that from? They got that from CNN, MSNBC, the mainstream, the drive-by media.
Yeah.
As Rush Limbaugh used to call them, the drive-by media. and that's where they get their information from.
Yeah, that's true. Blind suckers who actually swallow the slop. It's terrible.
Right.
Don't they know better than, like, even the liberals knew not to believe everything that you read. Believe nothing that you read. You're supposed to say.
But you know what they do though, James?
Yeah.
They just keep repeating and repeating and repeating and keep on repeating it.
Yeah.
To the point that you think is true.
Right. Yeah. That's what they did with climate change to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at COVID. They
I didn't fall for that one as much, but yeah.
You know, I didn't either. But I was thankful.
I mean, I know to be careful. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying I didn't fall for the fear mongering and hype and stuff. Yeah.
They divided families with that, man.
Right.
I knew if your immune system was strong, it could handle COVID. But when they seen people die from COVID, now you got a guy in there 500 pounds. You know his immune system is compromised. Then if you have a weak immune system, it's compromised. And if you see somebody in the hospital, and if their fingers look as big as their toes, you know they overweight, man.
True. That's an interesting. That's an interesting symptom.
Oh man, Roland Martin like me saying like, oh man, people died. I said that ain't fear mongering me, man. Because I mean, families was even divided over that, man, over COVID.
Yeah.
You ain't got vaccinated, don't come over my house, especially during the holidays when that time was going on.
Be careful mentioning my competitors, Rick, there. You're mentioning my competitors.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
I accept.
I'm just saying that's what they be putting out, though.
Yeah,
right?
It is. Right.
They put that stuff out.
Yep.
You know, you can go right on the public.
It even happened with my caller, who's like a reasonable guy, Ronnie from Ohio. He's like, people died. A whole bunch of people died, so you can't overreact. And then when I showed him, I had to explain to him instances of people overreacting for it to sink in. Oh, okay, yeah, it is possible for people to overreact.
Oh yeah, they did. I can tell you, they overreacted
right.
to COVID.
Yeah,
now, I'm not saying just be careless.
Of course.
They had it. They couldn't wait for somebody to die from COVID. And,
yeah. Just like they can't wait for somebody. Just like they can't wait for somebody to die from like a white terrorism thing. They love when a white does a mass shooting.
A white shooting.
Oh
man,
yeah.
They love
white
kids that gotta go shoot out of school. Man, here comes CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC.
They want that to happen.
They show it over and over.
They want it to happen in order to get rid of the guns and to get ratings and to browbeat the whites and the men and the Second Amendment people who are not even to blame. It's women, mothers, angry liberal mindset.
Yep.
The angry mindset that the liberals have. Their solution is from anger. But the problem is anger. The problem is anger, but their solution is from anger. So it's so evil.
Most liberals, man, they just constantly if you agree to go to their show, they over talking you so much, man, you can't even get your point across.
Indeed. So true.
You know, like for example, what's the guy from Shark Tank? He was in he goes on CNN quite often.
Oh, yeah, Kevin O'Leary?
Yes, he goes on there. And it was one lady, she was just talking and talking. I said, shut up, man.
Yeah. That man is probably in my top 10 or top 50 at least, top 20 favorite Irish men. I'm pretty sure he's Irish because his name is O'Leary. Well, his name is O'Leary, and if you have an O and an apostrophe, that usually indicates Irish, I think. Kevin O'Leary, Irish.
Oh, I like him.
Oh yeah, me too. Canadian Irish. Hey, I'm starting.
Oh, so
I'm liking
Irish. Okay.
I'm liking these Canadians better every day. Man, Mr. Wonderful.
Wow, I didn't know he was Canadian.
Oh yeah, me neither. I thought he was No wonder he's so sensible.
You know, he just like they wouldn't even let the man talk, man.
Yeah. No, that's those. Oh, come back to your phone there, man.
On their degrees.
Say again?
They rely on their degrees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they definitely do.
I mean, all of them, they ain't got no experience in economics besides their degrees. None of them run businesses. They got paid by writing, by being on fear-mongering people for the most part.
Yep.
And that's how they got their wealth, most of them.
So true.
And they haven't ran no major businesses, and they just go off their degrees.
Yeah. Rick, it's good talking with you, man. I gotta cut things short. I gotta keep it moving. Appreciate you, man.
Do you remember that guy that called on your show? He was talking about Kamala Harris don't mean, but the vice president don't have nothing to do with the president.
Yeah.
That's far from the truth, man. They gotta be one accord. They can't. I mean, you can't have a two-headed dragon.
It used to be that way, though. In the good old days, the person who got second place was vice president. Before we had political parties, the president didn't choose his vice president. The president the top two winners were the president and vice president. That's how it used to be in the good old days.
Wow.
I don't know if that's a good thing necessarily, because the vice president then oftentimes undermines. Yeah. But it's also a little bit more balanced. It's also you can't get as much done, and that's a good thing. Presidents who get a lot done do great evil. Mm-hmm. If you look at the so-called best presidents list, they rank Trump the worst. They rank evil Woodrow Wilson, who gave us income tax, the Fed, brought us into World War I, I think, and all kinds of things, evil things. He got a lot done, and he's considered better than average. So these people who rank presidents who by how much they get done, they're evil because they're for getting evil things done. So I kind of like the idea of going back to having, let's say, Trump president, Kamala vice president.
Oh man,
Wouldn't that be
I
fun?
don't think. I mean, that probably be the worst 4 years any man can have, because everything that's capitalism.
Right.
Kamala would be against. She would be against
No,
everything.
but think back. Think to 2020. It would be Joe Biden president, Trump vice president.
Oh man,
Wouldn't that be awesome?
You know, that would be. Hey, I can see build a wall, Biden.
That's
Sleepy
right.
Joe.
That's right. It's good to hear from you, Rick. I got to run. Take care.
You too, Jay. Love you guys. Y'all be blessed. Thanks,
all right.
Jay.
You as well. Bye. And I would be remiss if I were to skip Ronnie in Ohio. We've just been bashing Ronnie all morning. What's up, Ronnie in Ohio? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, damn, what I do to y'all?
We just like to have Ronnie is the whipping boy of the Hake report.
It's all good.
We figure you can handle it. You can handle it.
Yeah. I'll keep posing my questions and watch people fail at answering them, and I'll keep mentioning things and watch people hurt their arms trying to reach it, trying to go against what I'm saying. You had a caller yesterday that said I was lying or I was wrong about inflation being worldwide.
Okay, yeah, somebody said that. Yep.
Yeah, so I would want that guy, if he's blaming inflation here in the United States on Kamala Harris, I want him to tell me why the inflation is high in Japan, why it's high in Norway, why it's high everywhere around the world. All you got to do is a quick Google search, and you can see that the United States is clearly not the only country struggling with inflation, and we are not the country with the highest inflation.
Nice. Now, somebody mentioned Russia doesn't have high inflation or something like that. Is that true?
I'm not sure about Russia.
Okay.
You can probably Google that one too, but
yeah.
Again, there are places not even connected to the U.S. economy that are struggling with inflation.
Wait a minute. Are you sure that they're not connected with the U.S. economy? The U.S. economy is pretty far-reaching.
It is. It's worldwide. We because we consume a lot.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to be customers.
Yep.
I'm not saying that there are not really many countries that are disconnected from the United States, but
yeah,
as far as their economy being sink or float based on us, that's not the case when it comes to some of those places. Well, you can look them up.
I addressed that pretty well, I thought, yesterday with the ilk, Kamala's ilk, being the liberal mindset of overreacting to the virus, overreacting to Putin going into Ukraine. Remember when they overreacted and we hurt ourselves by overreacting to that because the economy got messed up with the overreaction to Putin going in there. We could have made a peace deal pretty quickly. We could have forced the Ukraine to make a peace deal with Russia, but no, we being the government, right, encouraged them to keep going, keep fighting, and enabled them to keep fighting. And that has hurt the economy too, because there's like sanctions against Russia, and there's kind of different imports that are getting disrupted, and ships getting stopped by, people in not just in reaction to Russia, but in reaction to the Israel thing. There's war everywhere. Under Biden, Kamala, Obama.
If you think that Russia wasn't going to ever invade Ukraine, or if you think that they only said, let me ask you this: you think Putin was like, I really, really want to invade Ukraine, but I can't do it because Donald Trump is the president of the United States?
Basically, yeah.
So you think that Vladimir Putin withheld what he was going to do because Donald Trump was president?
I think so.
Yeah, that's insane.
How is it insane?
It's insane to think that Donald Trump has that much of an effect on the worldwide stage.
Don't underestimate.
In that he would be able to prevent a dictator from invading a country that when Tucker Carlson went and asked Putin why he invaded. Yeah, he didn't start his answer by saying, well, Donald Trump's no longer president.
I know.
He went back
because he's a man. He can't admit that another man had him in check. But go ahead.
Beyond that, he was saying that his reason for invading was centuries-old issues that were resurfacing.
Something like that.
Donald
I
Trump's
remember.
not going to stand in. So you think that Vladimir Putin will let Donald Trump stand in the way of 200 years of history and having a reason to invade Ukraine?
He doesn't have
insane to me.
He doesn't have a choice. America is supposedly one of the most powerful countries on earth, and a powerful man wielding a powerful country's military and economic stuff and all that knows how to keep rough guys, other tough guys in check. Not so with lame-o Biden.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, because Trump said something like, I would have said, if you go in there, I'm bombing Moscow. He makes bold threats. And he did that
Trump's not gonna bomb Moscow.
Because Putin's
and the NATO countries
wait. Let me stop you.
Hold on. And the NATO countries would not allow Donald Trump to just bomb Moscow.
They can't stop him.
That's even more insane than thinking that Donald Trump is the reason Vladimir Putin didn't invade Ukraine.
Do you know why Trump is not going to bomb Moscow?
Because he's not going to be president?
No, because Putin is not going to go in and act erratic when Trump is there. That's why he's not going to bomb Moscow.
Wait, say that one more time.
Trump says, you go in there, I'm going to bomb Moscow. And you said Trump is not going to bomb Moscow. And you know why Trump is not going to bomb Moscow?
Because he's not president. He can't bomb Moscow.
Because Putin's not going to go in there with Trump there, threatening Moscow.
So you're telling me, so then I guess we can put your theory to the test.
Let me tell you an example of my theory.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Trump put a photograph, according to Trump, he put a photograph of the Taliban leader's house on the table in front of the Taliban leader. And the Taliban leader is all, why are you showing me a picture of the house? And Trump is all, no more Americans killed by you guys. Figure it out. He threatened the Taliban leader's family if any more Americans get killed. Americans didn't get killed as much under Trump in Afghanistan than they did under Biden and under Obama. He's a man of strength, is a man of peace, and that's Trump.
Are we comparing the leader of the Taliban to Vladimir Putin?
No, I'm comparing Trump's strength with Putin to Trump's strength with any crazy leader.
So you think that Trump can do something to a Taliban leader? That means he would also do that to Vladimir Putin.
It's not that he's going to do it. It's
that they have. Is what I said.
It's that they have mutual respect. Did Putin do anything under the Trump administration?
Pieces were being moved. He didn't make the final jump to where he invaded Ukraine, but there's been tension there for years. The same thing with the tension going on in North Korea and South Korea, the same tension that's going on with Taiwan and China,
right, and
the same tension that's going on with Iran and Israel.
But nothing.
Those four battlefronts have been an issue really since like the late, not the late 2000s, but the first decade of the 2000s.
But nothing major.
There's been issues there since then.
Why do you think nothing major happened under Trump, but it did under Obama and Biden?
It was just the timing. I don't think it was because of Biden. I think it was more of a coincidence.
Okay.
I don't think Putin. Again, I don't think Putin was like, okay, now that Donald Trump's out of office, now I can invade Ukraine. Doesn't make much sense at all. Especially
that's because you're not really paying attention.
Especially with Biden being a more pro-NATO president than Trump was.
Right, because Trump had NATO in check.
Again, I didn't really call to talk about Trump and Putin and all of that.
You called in about inflation, and I told you
inflation.
Called in about
inflation, yeah. And
inflation increased because inflation increased in part.
And you said that he debunked me when he said that I was wrong about inflation being a worldwide phenomenon, and it clearly is.
Well, you just admitted that you don't know if Russia has high inflation, so it's not worldwide. It's in many parts of the world, but it's not everywhere in the world.
Let's look it up then. If you really want me to waste the time,
I'm not really into wasting time. I'm into pointing out that under Trump, we had the economy doing quite well. We had peace overall in the world. He had the leaders' respect, whose respect we needed. Now the leaders whose respect we need have no respect for us. Little Rocket Man is out of control. Putin is out of control. Hamas and Iran and all of them are out of control. And even Bibi is out of America's control because we don't have respectable leaders in there.
Y'all, you're blaming respectable leaders, and you're thinking that Trump can fix it. And I'm telling
Of
you
course,
that any person
he did fix it.
I'm telling he didn't fix it.
Yes,
I'm telling
he
you that I'm telling you that any person that thinks Trump can save America or any one person can save America, it's hard for me to look at them and say that they have a good relationship with God.
Nobody even said anything like that.
One man who's clearly a flawed, dishonest person.
How is he dishonest?
How was he dishonest?
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to go through it, and your show's not long enough for me to go through.
What do you
Trump
think
being
about
dishonest.
my examples of Trump's honesty?
I didn't hear them.
You didn't hear them?
No.
You were busy in the live chat. I addressed your question about does anything, you said, does any of you guys actually think Trump is honest? And I said, yes, he's honest. You didn't hear me?
I must have been calling in when that happened. I didn't hear that part.
Oh, yeah,
And there's
Trump
a
is honest.
delay
He pointed out, for example, he's like, every time they want to get you, they're like, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. Have you ever heard any other politician point that out?
Okay, somebody being honest in some moments doesn't mean they're not dishonest.
No, answer that question, though. Have you heard
Hold on. Before
Answer my
I answer
question.
that question,
No.
Before I answer that question, can we agree that somebody who's dishonest doesn't mean that they're not that they don't have honest moments? A dishonest person can have honest moments, and that doesn't make them honest.
I don't know.
Right, because I'm trying to understand where you were going with the question about pointing out that sometimes people attack you with racism.
Answer the question. Have you ever heard any politician point out every time they try to get you, something like that, they say, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist, and he's like rolling his eyes. Have you seen that before in a politician?
Yeah, definitely. I've heard a lot of politicians claim that they'll say something that's truthful, and then the only attack that the other people have is to call them a racist. I've heard people say that all the time.
Nice.
Senator John Kennedy
true,
from
right?
Louisiana would be a big one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
John
true,
Kennedy
of course.
is an honest man, right?
Sometimes.
And so is Trump.
Sometimes. And I like when he's honest. Even when I disagree with him, I love when I can get the raw, authentic honesty from him.
Nice.
It doesn't happen all the time. Same
and
thing with
nobody
Donald
else,
Trump.
And nobody else
When
deals
Donald
with...
Trump told y'all that the people in Springfield was eating cats and dogs, he was being dishonest.
I don't think so. How do you know that he was being dishonest?
You don't have to think. You don't think so because you think he has the capability to save a country. The way you look at him is different than the way I look at him.
You're just making up stuff now.
I'm not making up. That was Trump that made up stuff when he said people in Springfield were eating dogs and cats.
You think he made that up?
He was being dishonest with y'all.
You think he made that up and that he was purposely lying?
Hold on. Being dishonest doesn't mean that you're purposefully lying.
Yeah, being dishonest means that you know that you're not honest.
Don't change the question. The topic of the conversation was Donald Trump is not an honest person.
Yeah.
He tried to say, yes, he is, because he was honest about this, that, and the third.
Right.
And I said he can be honest about this, that, and the third and still be a dishonest person, which he is. And one example of him being dishonest with the American people was trying to say that people in Springfield were eating cats and dogs.
And you haven't proven that was dishonest.
He hasn't proven that it happened.
He doesn't have to prove that it happened. He doesn't have to prove that it happened.
If he's going to go on national TV and say it, he does have to have some type of substance.
That's
where he can actually say that this is what happened.
That's your assumption. He can point to an
article. He can point to a person. He can point to a picture. He can point to a video. He ain't pointed to anything. He pulled that out of his ass.
Whoa, hey, Ronnie.
That's where he pulled that out of, and he was dishonest with the American people.
Ronnie, you got to calm down, man. You can't be cussing.
If I'm talking about Trump, I can.
No, you cannot.
Yes, I can.
Not on my show.
He's not the president, and I still got the First Amendment, and I apologize immediately after saying it.
Well, I didn't hear you because
we don't have to turn the mole into a mountain. We don't have to do that.
Well, then apologize for cussing without me talking over you.
I did immediately.
No, apologize again because I didn't hear it.
I'm sorry for saying ASS.
You don't spell it out, man.
I could spell out some words that Donald Trump has said, and then the show probably will get shut down.
I bleep cut Trump's words when he cusses on my show.
Come on now. My point is,
why are you making excuses, man?
He's a dishonest person. His
you have not given
more vulgar than mine is.
You haven't given a real example of dishonesty.
I just did. He said that the people in Springfield were eating cats and dogs, and
that's what he heard.
Proof.
That's what he heard.
Come on now. Come on now.
Come on what?
As a presidential candidate of the United States, you have a
Are
responsibility
you concerned?
to know what the heck
Which
you're
are you
talking
concerned more about? The fact whether or not they're eating cats and dogs, or whether or not the immigration situation in Springfield and around the country is a mess?
That's a terrible question.
No, answer
Please
it. Which are you more concerned about? Whether they're eating cats and dogs, or that the immigration situation in Springfield and elsewhere around the country is a mess?
Both.
You're equally concerned about whether they're eating cats and dogs.
I didn't say equally concerned. I'm concerned about.
I asked
both
you
of
which
them.
one is more. Which one is more? You can't say both is more.
I'm too concerned about both of those topics to neglect either one of them.
But which one is more concerning?
I'm willing to talk about both of them.
Which one is more concerning?
I'm willing to talk about both of them. I can walk and chew bubble gum.
No, but which one is more concerning?
They're both concerning.
They're equally concerning?
You disagree?
No, I totally disagree.
You don't think it's concerning to have a presidential candidate saying something when they don't know what they're talking about? You're changing the question. We're not.
I'm more
talking
concerned
about being dishonest. We're talking about
no.
dishonesty.
Hold on.
We're not talking
We're talking about honesty
versus dogs and cats being eaten.
The only person in the country who's been honest about the out of control immigration situation, which the dogs and cats thing points to. Okay, it's a great meme that points to there is an out of control foreign influence in America by way of immigration, changing the culture of the country for the worse by way of this invasion. And Trump is the only one pointing it out.
Yeah, that's
and
insane.
I don't care about cats and dogs being eaten. I think it's funny.
If you think Trump is the only one talking about illegal immigration,
you don't think eating cats and dogs is funny?
No, I don't think eating cats and dogs is funny.
I think it's funny.
I don't, and I think
how are you not amused?
A pretty strong sense of humor.
I know you have.
I don't see the humor in eating cats and dogs. I think about that, and I'm like, that's kind of nasty.
It is, but it's funny too, man. The heck?
Yeah, it ain't funny to me.
No, it's reality, and Trump is a reality-saying person.
But he's clearly not the only person talking about it when there was a border bill in Congress that was trying to get passed.
Oh, Lord, don't tell me that you're...
He cares so much...
Did you fall for that?
Trump cares so much about immigration. Before I jump, Trump cares so much about immigration and fixing it that he did everything he could to stop a border bill from getting passed.
Because a border bill is not going to solve the problem. They've been passing and stopping and passing border bills since Reagan, and they never did anything.
This might not have solved the problem, but I think sending more border agents down to the border to help secure it is a good thing.
That's just lip service. They were doing lip service.
You disagree. You disagree with sending...
Completely disagree.
So you don't think that sending more border agents to the border to help secure it is a good thing?
They could have done that without any bill.
You don't think that's a good thing?
No.
Amazing.
Yeah. You know Obama? I heard Obama stationed the border agents 40 miles away from the border. 40 miles away from the border.
Obama.
So that they wouldn't have encounters.
Obama?
Yeah.
What year are you talking about?
2014-ish.
Come on, man.
Did you hear that? Had you heard that? 40 miles away.
Let me check something. Today is 2024. Why are you talking to me about Obama?
Because I'm giving you an example of the government not doing anything. Sending agents to, quote unquote, the border doesn't mean anything. He's stationed, I don't know if it was National Guard or something, but I remember hearing people being placed by Obama 40 miles from the border.
What does that have to do with a 2024 border bill in Congress? What does Obama in 2014 have to do with
2024 is worse than 2014. And tell me what your reaction is.
Maybe we should have sent more border agents to the border.
Ronnie, work with me. You're being obtuse. Work with me.
I'm not. I'm trying to.
No. Let me finish my question.
I'm trying to keep the conversation in the lane. You kind of going all over the place and coloring outside the line.
No. This is all about the border and Trump's honesty and the government's dishonesty.
Cool.
Okay, so listen to this. Listen to this. What do you think about them, Obama, allegedly, according to Hake, hearing 10 years ago or so, that they put agents 40 miles away from the border? Does that sound reasonable to you? Does that sound like border security?
I would be interested to find out why they chose 40 miles and not 4 or 20 or 100.
Yeah.
I would be interested to find out why before I can critique and say that it's a bad idea. I don't know what the options were.
Do you remember?
I don't know if
do you remember the Obama administration?
Hold on. Yes.
Do you remember the unaccompanied alien children flooding across the border and Obama allowing it?
No.
Oh, wow. Then you don't remember the Obama administration.
Obama was in office for 8 years, so that happened for 8 years?
It was happening. It was a major unaccompanied alien children invasion around the 2014 times. And these lamos,
so that would have been year 7 of his 8 years. Okay.
And these lamos,
or 6,
like these rhinos, like Glenn Beck, and shout out to Glenn Beck, and Ted Cruz, whom I liked. Ted Cruz, they sent teddy bears and like soccer balls to these unaccompanied alien children. It was terrible. It was a mess. And so thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump, for actually taking it seriously.
So nobody crossed the border
these
when Trump was in
phonies.
office?
They didn't care about the border.
People didn't cross the border when Trump was in office?
They flooded the border like as much as they could before Trump could stop them.
When Trump was president, when he was in office, when he was president, not vice president.
Yeah, they were flooding it. Yeah, they were
for 4 years.
They were trying to undermine
Nobody
him.
was coming across the border?
They were coming across the border.
Okay, so people came across the border under Obama, people came across the border under Trump. We agree or we disagree?
We agree.
Okay, so it's happened with both presidents. Why, for some reason, do you think that Trump is all of a sudden now an honest person?
Because Obama allowed it. He did everything he could to allow it to happen, and Trump did everything he could to stop it from happening. Remain in Mexico, build the wall, and all those things, which he did. But you don't seem to give any credit. Well, you admitted before that you don't even care about this issue. It's not the top issue on your concerns for the country.
Yeah, it's not the one that's going to make it or break it with my decision, because no candidate that's running for president can fix the border.
Oh, okay.
We had 4 years of Trump and the border wasn't fixed. I don't know what Kamala can do.
It was definitely improving.
But Trump can't prove me wrong.
It was definitely improving. You just weren't paying attention.
Obama deported more people than any other president, and Trump spent more money than any other president. So I don't know what you're talking about.
So you don't know that it was improving. You're either being dishonest, like you're accusing Trump of being, or you're just ignorant.
You said improving.
Yeah.
Are we talking about improving or are we talking about fixing? Because earlier,
improving is on the way to fixing it.
So you don't think sending
I got to run, Ronnie, in Ohio. I got to run.
Yeah, good. This is my last question.
No, I got to go. I got to go, man. I got to go. He's being obtuse. You're bringing up Joe from Phoenix type talking points. He deported more people than blah, 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 blah. That's called an intellectual. Ronnie, you're being an intellectual. You need to do a silent prayer or something. He's like a Bible thumper. Ronnie, you know the Bible thumpers are crazy. Why are you jumping to this and this and this and this and this? I'll let you ask your last question tomorrow or whenever you can call again and again. But I got to run. What a mess. No, I've never watched Shawshank Redemption. I saw that one scene. I got to read some super chats, guys. We're past the top of the hour. Ronnie, forgive me if I was wrong for hanging up on you. Forgive me. I know that you don't have anger, as you say. But I was done with that. I was done about 5 minutes before, but anyway. I can use emotional arguments if you don't want intellectual ones, Hake. This is the same thing. Somebody said something. No, I've never watched Shawshank Redemption. Makes me want to spit. Pooh. Isn't that some Stephen King book? And it has that guy, that white guy with the upturned nose. And that black guy who just narrates stuff. Ronnie, a little too much for you, Hake. Yeah, he's just way in his head. He doesn't want to address the reality. He wants to address side notes. Hake been getting ticked lately. He merciless. Andy is one of the best characters ever. Which one is Andy? Is he the black one or is he the one with the hair? The white guy with the hair? I don't know. I just saw, because these lame-o Christians, shout out to the lame-o Christians. We love you, lame-o Christians. But I went to Azusa Pacific University, APU. It's a Christian college. And the president at the time, he would like to show these snippets of these movies. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Which I never saw. I heard it was kind of good. Like it was, people liked it or whatever. And then Shawshank Redemption and some of these other movies, none of which I had seen. And he shows this one where he's like looking up into the sky and the rain is coming down. I guess he just broke into his freedom. Sorry, guys, I spoiled the movie. I guess he spoiled it for me too. And it was supposed to be touching. I'm like, okay, this guy's not that handsome. Not that I care. I mean, I kind of care. And then, whatever, I don't really have any context or build up to be relieved that this guy's free. So I don't even know that he actually even got out of prison because they just show him crawling and then it's raining and his hands are up. That was Shrek, Hake. I eventually saw Shrek. It was okay. Kind of annoying. But anyway, like, I haven't seen all of Braveheart. Now it's been kind of ruined. I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen all of Shawshank Redemption. I haven't seen much of any of Godfather. These are just a mess. It's still an insanely good movie. Long before Stephen King got Trump derangement syndrome, says Modern Day Debate. Yeah. You know, I respect Stephen King, really. I think he's probably a really good storyteller and writer and stuff. You know, I like that one movie, The Shining, he didn't like, but it was based on his book. It's so good, Hake. You know, but you know how how stuff has been kind of just so spoiled for you? I don't even know if I ever saw the full thing of Forrest Gump. So that's that for that. Ooh. What a mess. Okay, we have to read some super chats though, guys, before I get back to your calls. Pardon me if I was rude there on you. Maybe I should have just said, no, I got to go, and just insisted in not taking your question. Sorry. But this is radio, hey. Oh, wow. Okay, so some super chats, everybody. Over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. I don't even know where I left off. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, truck driver. Okay, Terry. Yeah, okay. Deus Intra. I had a dream all the world was brand new. Oh, yeah, no, I read that. The streets and buildings in cities were impeccable, but there were hardly any minorities. Wow. Free bird, says Harmony with 5 coffees. Pablo said about the flat earth thing. I read that one yesterday. I do remember. Thank you, Pablo, with your 5 coffees. Oh, and that's when I meant to look up the Black Swan thing. Another day, man, another day. Pardon me. C-Bill, I read those things about Ronnie. Angband Art. Thank you, C-Bill. Read those yesterday. Angband Art. If the rapture occurred, oh yeah, when you were doing your show, would you leave or continue taking calls from the iniquitous? I don't know. I don't know how the rapture is supposed to work anymore. When I was a kid, I knew. I was like, I hope I get raptured so I don't have to die. But I don't know how it's going to work. Matthew on YouTube. Thank you, Angband Art. It's quite a dilemma. Matthew on YouTube. Women and simps shouldn't vote. That's not what America was founded on. You didn't see one mention of women in the founder's writing. Viva la revolution. I think it's supposed to be with a C. Revolution. Something like that. Thank you, Matthew on YouTube. Live the revolution. I'm thinking that revolutions most of the time, maybe all the time, aren't good. Did they call it the American Revolution way back in the day? Or did communists start calling it the American Revolution so that they could usurp the term revolution because the communists like revolution, whereas normal people like to, they like peace. Real peace. Strength. But no, they want angry, dumb, young people. Shout out to the angry, dumb, young people. I, too, am angry, dumb, but no spring chicken. Angband Art, 5 coffees. I used to work unarmed security with cuffs and spray. Wow. I approached all shoplifters I saw, regardless of store policy. Ended up fired for disobeying too many other orders, such as masks. For me, it was a matter of my purpose, and the managers always backed me up. One time it went to corporate. They gifted the thief $100 store credit with an apology. I'm chuckling, but it's evil. But I'm not chuckling as hard as I am when I hear about them eating dogs and cats. It's somewhat amusing. Come on, Ron. Oh, I know it might be white humor or dark humor. Ronnie in Ohio, not amused by the thought of them eating cats and dogs. But I was not in trouble. Oh, cool. That's good at least. Who cares if they rewarded the thief as long as you didn't get in trouble? I have also pursued a wheelchair-bound individual off property to get a case of beer back that he stole. I no longer work security. Wow. Angband Art. Yeah. The dishonesty, you allow it, you encourage it. And that's what they're doing, allowing it and encouraging it in many, many ways. Skyjack, water coffee. Hake, while talking about cats and dogs to Ronnie, are you not entertained? Thank you, Skyjack. Popcorn's thump keg. He deserves his own timestamp because I spend so much time on him. I think you misunderstand. I think you have a misunderstanding of the burden of proof. Says Popcorn's thump keg. If someone says James stole my bike, the burden of proof would be on them to prove that you stole the bike. It's not up to you to prove that you didn't steal it. Similarly, if someone says people are eating cats and dogs, or he says they're eating the cats and dogs, it's disingenuous to say, well, prove that they aren't doing it? How is that even possible to prove? Yeah, you can't. You can't prove that they're not doing it. And you can't prove that it's a lie, really. Because he's not accusing any specific person. He's saying they're eating cats, they're eating the dogs. Because he's heard it. There are people who are saying it. And I don't know if it's true. I personally would have been like, according to the people over there, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Because that's according to the people over there. But when you're in the heat of a debate, you just say, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. You'll hear me slip and say, Trayvon threw the first punch, or Trayvon doubled back and did that. But that's not, I don't know that to be true. That's according to his girlfriend. She believes he threw the first punch. She believes he doubled back and confronted George Zimmerman. So I can't prove that Trayvon did that. And Trayvon's not around, unfortunately, I guess you could say, to say, not that he would be honest anyway, who knows. But anyway, and you're suggesting that even if it's not true, just keep saying it to keep the message out there? In what context do you advocate people repeating unsubstantiated claims? In the context of Trump doing it to push the truth out there. Because the truth is the border is out a mess. And the people, as opposed to the quote-unquote people running the government over there, are unhappy with the transformation of their town. Ronnie does a good job of keeping you from blurring lines. No, he doesn't. He does not. He always brings things back to the original question. No, he doesn't. He loses track of the original question. For example, I said, what do you think of them putting stuff at the 40 miles from the border? He's like, we're talking about 2014 now? He's trying to deviate and undermine my question because he doesn't want to admit that the border was out of control on purpose under Obama, Biden, and all that, and the rest of the government, the rhinos, too. And Trump is really taking it seriously and really doing clear, real things to fix it. But he can't acknowledge that for some odd reason. And I don't really get why. He does have a judgment against Trump for some strange reason. When it comes to Trump, people will justify what he says at all costs. That's not true. What cost is it for Trump to say they're eating the cats and dogs? What cost is that? There is no cost to that. What is your most charitable interpretations of his comments on Arnold Palmer? I don't know what he said about Arnold Palmer. I'm not familiar. Popcorn's thump keg. But you two, I believe you, like Ronnie, are a black intellectual. I don't think Ronnie really identifies with his blackness. Maybe a little bit. You more than Ronnie, Popcorn's thump keg. And you think that you justify it with your intellectualism. I don't think that you're really in touch with how identified with the blackness you are. I know that Joe from Phoenix does too. That's why he thinks Obama was a good president. Among other things. It's an anger thing, really, at the root. So thank you, Popcorn's thump keg. Trump is a truth teller. These other people not. Obama, says Matthew on YouTube. Oh, I read too many A's. There was no extra A. Obama also sold thousands of AR-15 rifles to the Mexican drug cartels before they opened the borders. Never forget. Are you talking about Operation Fast and Furious under Eric Holder, who was held in contempt of Congress? Not that that means anything. Lamos. They should have impeached Obama over Fast and Furious when border officer Brian Terry, was killed with our own guns because they were gun running, and I think it was a scam by anti-Second Amendment Eric Holder. I don't know if this is the case that he's talking about. Anti-Second Amendment Eric Holder, who wanted to brainwash the people against guns, he said, way back in the day and to this day. And it was like to try to go after our guns somehow. Like have something and say, use it for propaganda against guns. I don't know. What a mess. The Second Amendment, you know. Terrible. Anyway, thank you, Popcorn Stump Cake, Matthew on YouTube, Skyjack, Angband Art, I don't know how to say your name, and Matthew on YouTube, and the rest here on Gilligan's Isle. Oh, Lord, what in the world just happened? Stop. No. Quit. Pardon me while I have this strange interlude. Okay. Back to calls, guys. Ring. How did that happen? That's interesting. I must have said show desktop. Such a boomer. George, a first-time caller out of Massachusetts, is on the line here. George, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, Hake.
Hey.
I heard one of your callers earlier talking about Trump and Putin, and it sounded like, I don't know, maybe Trump was powerful and scared and this and that. He concluded as to why there was no aggression.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact what happened is Obama funded, through the State Department, he funded the State Department to throw a coup in Belarus and Ukraine. And as soon as Trump got in, he defunded the entire State Department. So they didn't have money to do this in Ukraine or Belarus. It really didn't have anything to do with the fear or anything. It had to do with funding being cut. And as soon as Biden got back in, he refunded the State Department to go ahead with the two coups in Belarus and Ukraine. That's all I really wanted to definitely enlighten everybody on.
So when were these coups? When were these coups?
These coups? Well, the coup was funded during the Obama administration, suspended during Trump, and re-engaged during the Biden administration, which is when things really got hot.
Yeah. So they stoked anti-Russia sentiment by funding coups and stuff like that in Belarus and the Ukraine, picking sides and influencing foreign influence on the Ukraine and on Belarus. And that caused extra tensions with Russia, eventually culminating in these wars.
Yeah, basically, it all boiled down to just getting the funding to do it, you know, and that's all it really boiled down to, was funding the State Department. And when Trump gets back in, you can guarantee he's probably going to defund the State Department, and you're going to have a bunch of bureaucrats without jobs, without funding to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we can expect that in the future also, is State Department employees will probably be jobless.
Wow. That would be awesome. See, there's so much other stuff that's going on that normal people like me, well, I'm not that normal, but a lot of people are as ignorant as Hake, if not more ignorant, and don't know. And so there will be guys who think that they're being logical, like Ronnie in Ohio, who are just ignorantly thinking that they're chipping away at your argument, but they're just completely ignorant about what's really going on. And then they'll just start judging Trump out of ignorance. It's so strange.
Yeah, I learned that at a conference called The State of the State Department, given at the public library.
Oh, wow.
We had a UN ambassador there telling us about how much of a victim she was because Trump defunded the State Department, and how everything relies on voting for Biden to get things back to normal.
Wow.
And, yeah. So my sources are very credible.
That was from liberal sources. Liberal sources from the government. Basically. U.S. ambassador to the UN, a black female. Oh, that one.
Oh.
That's funny, man.
Oh yeah, that's who they sent out. But I don't want to get into too many different conversations.
No problem.
But there is a Lindsay Moran, and I guess my sources at the Promethean Action Committee say that
don't name too much. Don't name drop any stuff that I'm not familiar with, unless it's just like the State Department ambassador. That's fine, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be dropping names that I'm not familiar with.
Okay, well, my source, it blames the British Empire for everything.
Oh.
Instead of how some people blame other people for everything. Well, this source blames the British Empire, and they're saying right now they're using ex-CIA agent Lindsay Moran, M-O-R-A-N, and they're going to attack Twitter. And they've been trying to attack, they're using nonprofits in the United States to start funding these campaigns, and so we've got to watch out for Twitter being attacked now by alleged British imperialists.
Oh, I mean present-day British imperialists. I was thinking that it was going back to like blaming because there's stuff going on. Yeah, there's stuff going on like Israel, Palestine stuff. There's a woman named Stardust who was on my show, and she blames, I think, the British for what's going on in Israel and Palestine, because, I don't know, the British sort of had a hand in setting up the whole situation 50, 100 years ago. I don't know. But
they sure did.
Yeah. So, but, I mean, that's kind of like blaming a great man who did a lot of good but also did a lot of evil, because great men do great things, great evil and great good. Like Reagan was in a position to do great things. He also did some great evil things and regretted them. So
that reminds me. Jesse's always talking about good and evil, but he can't give a definition. But he's never tackled the concept of a necessary evil. Like, is it necessary to have an evil government? It's evil, but
he does say that they're
supposed.
He does say they're supposed to be evil. He says, I don't blame evil for being evil. They're supposed to be evil.
Well, there's evil, and then there's the necessary evil.
But when he says supposed to be evil, then that is kind of like necessary evil.
No, being a racist in your own country might be like a necessary evil. Like, yeah, it's wrong, but
how is it
might
wrong?
be necessary. Or it's
depending
like a cop,
depending on what race, what that even that's a meaningless word, racist. But
I know. I'm just.
But
saying,
anyway,
the government itself could be a necessary evil. I mean, could we pull this size of population off by ourselves?
He does say, here's another example of a quote-unquote necessary evil, which I don't know if he would agree with this. Like ego. People become very ambitious and build great things, and sometimes that's from all ego. There's nothing good about it. But yet they do some awesome, great physical things and accomplishments with that, maybe partly from that. Like building, I don't know, rockets.
When I read all the Wisdom of Solomon and the Apocrypha, I have noticed that certain things like even arguing are bad, but it seems as though there's a loophole to these rules where if the end result like justifies the means, then it kind of negates the evil. Like anytime human life is born, it kind of, like if you lied to your girlfriend to get her pregnant, it kind of negates under these ancient laws. It's what you did to have the kid kind of is neutralized by the fact that a human life has been born. So it could be also that ego does inspire us to do things like build bridges, but then that evil is redeemed because those bridges bring even more life to us because of the commerce.
Yeah.
Like
maybe
there is redemption sometimes, but if there's no redemption, like it's just pure evil.
That's right. There's redemption in men leading. There's no redemption in women leading.
Amen.
Thank you, George in Massachusetts. Appreciate it.
God bless, Hake.
Yeah, you too. Call me again. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Whew, wow. Caller is a Mason, says Flat Earth Victory, whom I have banned before. So, Joe and Phoenix, you're in good company. I did see another super chat come in. Let me address this coffee. I believe it was from Popcorn's Thumpcake, everybody's favorite coffee buyer, over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Boom. Oh, it didn't go through. What the heck? What the Hake? Buy Hake a coffee. Oh, no, it did go through. Okay. Oh, it did. Let's see. Yes, indeed, it did come through. So by Trump repeating something he's heard other people say that he doesn't know to be true, is he gossiping? If he doesn't know it to be true, you could call it gossip. That's a term you've used a lot. If not, how do you define gossip? Gossip is usually about a specific person and their personal life type of thing. Something that they haven't put out there, and you start putting something out there, whether it's true or untrue, not your business. It's his business what's going on in the country. But you could call it gossiping. I won't hold it against you. I've always understood it to be repeating unsubstantiated claims about others. No. Let's say you witness it and you start spreading it. Let's say you know it to be true and you start spreading it. That's gossiping too. You're spreading somebody else's business, individually or collectively. So I disagree with your definition. Unsubstantiated claims, here's the Trump clip on Arnold Palmer, 1 minute long. Okay, cool, thank you. Well, let me save that for another time, though. 1 minute long. Cool, thank you, Popcorn's Thump Cake. Very cool. And the media hasn't really, they want it not to be true so they can call him a liar. They're quick to call him a liar without even knowing the truth. Isn't that interesting? And they're the biggest liars. Whose lies are more destructive? Let's pretend every man is a liar. right? Let God be true and every man a liar. Whose lies are more destructive? The lie that they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they something the election. Those are, those, if you want to call those lies, versus, oh, police are brutal against black people. We need to riot. The riot is the voice of the unheard. I think that lie is more destructive. I think so. Or the lie of we need to be angry and change and get rid of the Second Amendment. Or the lie that, oh, I respect the Second Amendment, but we need to get rid of it. Those lies are more destructive. You can nitpick and call Jesus a liar. You can call Trump a liar. People call Christians, Bible thumpers, call Jesus a liar. They don't even believe Jesus. Crazy, huh? It's true. Look into it. They worry. Jesus said, do not worry. They don't believe him. Be perfect, he said. They'd be imperfect. They say, we can't be perfect. They go on sinning. He says, go and sin no more. They say, he's not the Son of God. He's God. If you believe that he's the Son of God, you're not a Christian. But Hake, he's scared the cats and dogs. Lord have mercy. He said, don't gossip, don't slander, love your brother. And they gossip and slander and show a lack of love. Sick people. They don't even believe Jesus. They call him a liar. A mess. Let me double check over on the Rumble crew. What's up, Rumble crew? Oh, I guess I could show you guys the Rumble crew. No, but I don't have time. We're coming close to the end of the show, believe it or not. By close to the end, we're at less than 25 minutes till. Joel Friday TV is coming up next. Evil disguised as love. Yup. So true. Trump said Arnold Palmer was all man, says Bald Man 54. Nice. While drinking an Arnold Palmer. Is that true? Oh, my goodness. I almost short shrifted my friend and yours, GREGGATRON. GREGGATRON said with a super chat, your show was a mess yesterday. What the? Take this little money and get your show fixed. Also, did you see Eminem endorse Kamala Harris? What a simp. He was on stage with Obama. I needed 2 spittoons for that. 2 spittoons for that. 2. Must be how you was raised. GREGGATRON. Yeah, Mum donated 1, 2, 3, 4. I watched your debate with Vaush earlier today. It was really entertaining. Keep up the great work, Hake. Also, shout out to the Snake Pit. Wow, that was some years back. Thank you, Yum Mum. I had him on my show, and I also debated him another time, along with a whole panel. He didn't even take it seriously. He just laughed at me the whole time. But yeah, he's a mess. Vaush. Girly man. Admittedly, he thinks he's pan. S-word. Not good. Antifa supporter. Psycho. See, look, Hake is live. Oh, no. Let me go back. Nice. Okay. Eminem is the real great white hope. Cope and seethe, white people. Eminem is lame. Eminem is an overgrown, angry, angsty adolescent. I respect his old stuff is funny and so good. and funny and great. It's dirty and vulgar, but it was very talented. The best, perhaps. But he wishes he could be like Trump. That's jealousy talking. Because he pretended like he defied the media, and then he became the media. He became the establishment. He became the norm. He's accepted by the people that he was trying to rebel against. Because when you rebel, you are part of. Whereas Trump is just his own man. A Christian man. An honest man. Shout out to our greatest president, Trump. The best. David in Ocala, Florida, been on hold for like 5 years. How you doing, David?
Disconnected twice, baby.
Oh, I'm glad you got back in. What's up,
what
man?
A show. Well, man, yesterday that Mr. Pink brought up some stuff, and then you got disconnected. I was like, dang, Joe might have got through to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I called about women, but I just got to comment on a few things here real quick, man, from people brought up. You know that Gavin Newsom passed a law in your state that the voting people can't ask for voter ID. They cannot ask the people for ID. If they do, it's a criminal offense.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but I'm not that's a criminal offense. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
See,
they cannot ask. Now I'm just.
They are
going
changing
by
the laws.
Media, man. I'm going by the news media.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for.
Yeah, we don't know that this is true. But you notice that Democrats are for flouting the law and usurping and switching up the laws to call evil good and good evil. That's them.
Yeah, well, he's a woman. I mean, when you bring a 4 or 5 year old kid up on stage with a pacifier in his mouth, I mean, you're a woman.
You're talking about Newsom.
I'm talking about Newsom. Now, here's the thing. Y'all were quoting movies, Yeah. One of my favorite movies is Training Day. And Denzel Washington said, you're either a sheep or you're a wolf.
I saw that for the first time. I thought it was like a boxing movie or something, but it was a cop movie. I just saw that for the first time like a year or two ago. And it was a disturbing, sad movie. But why is it so great?
They could have done a better ending, I think, but other than that, it was
good. I didn't like the ending. But don't spoil the ending. I eventually did see it. And luckily, I had never seen any of it, so it wasn't spoiled for me. So I kind of enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it.
Good. It was a great movie. Yeah, for its time. I mean, my God, it's like 20. It came out like 2001, and you just saw it a year or so ago.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. All these black people loved Trump, man, until he became a Republican.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back, all the rappers, all this stuff. I mean, most people don't even know they called him and they said, "Hey, listen, we found this black woman living in one of your buildings, and she's been here for quite a while. What do you want me to do with her?" And he said, "Just let her stay there."
Wow.
So if he was racist, okay,
I know.
He's not racist.
Yep. He's real. He's real, and real is oftentimes called racist. Usually it is because he's real and realistic and deals with reality. And so a lot of the times that's called racist.
Well, it's true that you need a strong president. And, back when I was a kid, the Iran hostages were they were in for 444 days, okay?
Yeah.
And they let them hostages out because they knew Reagan was going to come in. Reagan told them, "I'll blow you up." And that's how you got to deal with these people. That's what I've been trying to say, ever since.
I heard that the Iran hostage thing was sort of a setup. Like the Reagan campaign said, "Wait until I win and then release them." Something like that. They kind of like did a political setup to make them look good politically, to make the Reagan administration or incoming Reagan administration look good politically, and to make Jimmy Carter, who is lame, look bad. But even if that's true,
lame, all right.
But even if that's true, that means that they had some sway with Iran, whether they did it as a sort of a political setup or not.
Well, all I can tell you is this:
Yeah.
if you trust the United States government, okay,
Yeah.
you are out of your mind.
True.
Okay? You are out of your mind. If you trust that that if you, I mean, because these people talk about people having all their faith in Kamala Harris. I mean,
Yeah.
that other side thinks that she's going to be the one that changes everything. It ain't. Ronnie is delusional. Okay, that's the product of what started in the '60s. That kind of thinking. Because I now listening to your show and all this stuff, I'm thoroughly convinced that all these men that were raised by these women, okay, that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because they're more feminine than they are men. And so then they start with their emotions because, watch this, their mother raised them. They went to school. A woman taught them. Okay, get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right? So then they start thinking, and I'm not saying, some women have some intelligent ideas, but when it comes down to war, okay, or being a cop, do you want a woman next to you or do you want a man?
A man. A man is meant to be
Of course you do.
ready to be brutal.
You know? Of course.
Ronnie from Ohio seems to be taking a little umbrage. He asks, did I ever say trust Kamala?
Nobody, I guarantee he votes for her.
Oh, dang. Oh, well, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. I think that he might have said that he's thinking about it, but I think that I heard a prediction from JLP that Ronnie from Ohio is going to come around and vote for Trump.
Well, I hope he does, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is what people need to understand. Just because you're black or just because you're white or just because you're Spanish or whatever does not mean that you're smart. Okay? And that's another problem. We've been putting these people in positions of power that don't have any common sense.
Yeah, true.
And it started, let me tell you, it started back in the 60s with the, I'll go to the women thing real quick and I'll shotgun you some stuff and then I'll get off so you can go. A woman took prayer out of school. A woman started Atheists of America. Women pushed birth control in women's lib, said, I don't need a man. There used to be a Virginia Slims commercial with a lady smoking a cigarette and said, we come a long way, baby.
Wow.
They push these. 70% of divorces are initiated by a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and if I can look back now, and I know this is a stretch, and you might not realize this, but this started with people like in the TV shows and with Barbara Walters, first woman, newscaster. Okay, you got what I'm saying?
She was a
started
mess
back then, huh?
She was a mess.
Yeah, and look
up
what
until
until
the day she died. Well, at least her last day on TV or whatever. Didn't she? Isn't she the one who just recently died within the past few years?
Yeah, a couple years ago. Yeah, she lived a good long life. She took good care of herself. Actually.
Yeah.
She was a very intelligent woman. I'm not taking nothing away from her.
Is she the one who Sean Connery addressed when she's all, you said that it's sometimes okay to slap a woman. I didn't love that. Was that her? She was interviewing the late, great Sean Connery?
I think it might have been.
And he gave her a perfect answer to that one. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
so...
Go ahead.
It has been a long time coming, these women.
Well, it started out with these TV shows. You had a show called That Girl. She was single. Then you had Mary Tyler Moore. She was single. And so they showed, they started pushing this, you don't need a man. You can live without a man. You follow what I'm saying? You don't need no man.
Propaganda.
And now look at it. Now you got all these women in government that we never had. And now we got all these problems. And you got words like white privilege, male toxicity. I mean, just all this misogynist. You got woman preachers.
Yeah. So true, man.
I made a comment on a video about a woman preaching, and they wrote back, "You're a misogynist." You're that.
Of course.
Now, so
I got to run, David. But great points. It's so true. Take care, man.
All right, man. Hey, have a great day. All
You
right,
as well. Bye. Mark in Los Angeles, California, on the line here. Mark, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for banning Satan from Phoenix. You finally did the right thing.
I didn't ban him from calling at this point. I banned him from chat. But yeah, you're welcome.
Well, no, he's Ghost Patrick. You got to dig out that rat.
Oh.
He's still on there, yeah.
I don't think that's him. But anyway.
No, Ghost Patrick is him. But anyway, I just want to say that you have been improving 1,000,000%.
Thanks, man.
And as far as the guy, Ronnie, he's just another black militant. If you listen to the comments, what I do is, while I'm listening to your show, I'll review the comments. And all the white haters, all three of them, the Three Stooges, in your comment section were all for him. Oh, Hake's getting beat. No, it's because you're putting him on the spot and he can't answer questions. He changes things, Ronnie does. And if he ever wants to talk to me, I'm available. What I wanted to ask you was, this is what I told the screener. Do you think if President Trump wins the presidency, the enemies of civilization will try to destroy America with rioting and every other dirty trick they can pull?
Of course. That's what they did the first time that he won. Remember Inauguration Day, they punched Richard Spencer. I think it was Inauguration Day. And then the women did the dumb women's march the next day, something like that. So yeah, of course, they're definitely going to try to tear down America, just like they're trying to do to this day, really.
Right. I know I don't have much time, so I don't mean to jump subjects, but the other thing I wanted to bring up was the reparations issue. I tried to call yesterday, but you guys had technical problems.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I do support reparations with one stipulation. With one important stipulation. For any of the Negroes who take the reparations money, they got to leave America forever and never come back here. Then the debt is paid. They will return to their homeland. They will get their, 40 acres and a mule, and they'll get it in Africa. That's the only way I would support reparations. And that reparations program, which it is called reparations, way back in the 60s, was advocated by J.B. Stoner and George Lincoln Rockwell. They wanted to deport the Negroes with reparations money just to get them out of here.
Right.
Give them their 40 acres and a mule. Instead, we're importing the problem. And as far as the cats and dogs in Springfield, now people have reported to the police that their pets are missing.
Right.
Okay, they don't have to actually see them cut the animals open and barbecue them.
Right.
They don't have to witness that. They know that their pets are missing. They know that these voodoo worshipers in Haiti eat cats and dogs.
Right.
So you put two and two together, you don't have to be a detective. And what Trump said on this when he debated the dummy Harris, the low IQ dope, he said to the people that were interviewing him that people in Springfield were saying their pets are missing. And he didn't say this, but I'll add this. And we know that the people in Haiti eat cats and dogs. So it's pretty reasonable to believe that those devils are stealing the pets. Nobody wants them here. Nobody asked for these animals to come here. And they come
somebody
here,
wants them here. Somebody wants them here to. Somebody does want them here. The normal people, the people who are actually dealing with them, don't want them here. But there's evil people who want them here.
For cheap labor and votes. That's it, Mr. Hake. They want them here for cheap labor, and they want them for votes. They can care less about them. And, well, what money are they bringing? They're bringing destruction.
Well, when you have immigrants, you get federal funds, or you have children. You have children in your schools. You get state funds, or whatever. I don't know. You have there's all kinds of opportunities for money, and then they could also, some of them can work and do bring in some semblance. I wouldn't want them to work, but I know. But listen to this: the government would not mind them working and bringing in tax money and stuff like that, and bringing in more business. More people means more business, and it's a corrupt.
These are second.
I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, I think, and I know you got to go, but
I do.
I think what's going to happen here in this country if Trump wins, when he attempts to deport these demons back to their native homeland, that's where you're going to get the war. I hope to God that Trump employs a civil army of people, civilians, who will aid and abet the army and the police in getting rid of these demons. Because if we don't, we're going to be Haiti. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to look at old artist renditions of the slaughter of the white man in Haiti, they're available to see. You won't see any Poles there, Polish people. You won't see any Spanish people. What a gaslighter, man.
Yeah, I did think that was a little sketchy, him bringing that up.
It's an outright
That's a phony
lie.
That was a phony, actually. I got to run, Mark. Nice talking with you. Take care.
God bless you. Thanks,
All
Hank.
right, bye. I'm not for reparations at all. What's to repair? William in California, I cannot get to your call. Jaime in Minnesota, I cannot get to your call. My favorite caller, Maze in Ohio, I cannot get to your call. Beautiful Maze in beautiful Ohio. I gotta end. But how about we love God and hate sin? This is Mylon LeFevre, Mylon LeFevre and Broken Heart from Crack the Sky. Bye, guys. Take care. Oh, yeah. It's Christian. Oh. I used to play it in my head.
Not conservative, I'm asking you to be. But I don't think that you should try to be like me. You must make up your mind.
Make up your mind.
What are you gonna do? You would have to be a fool to not see why it's true. Gotta love God, hate sin, refuse to lose, live to win. Love God, hate sin. You better love God, hate sin, refuse to lose, live to win. Love God, hate sin.
If it's Christian, why do it sound like the devil? Because you're used to the devil having the good music.
Not a liberal, I'm asking you to be. But I don't think a suit and tie are gonna set the world free. You must choose your own man, not the one that's on TV. It comes down to holiness and true integrity. Love God, hate sin, refuse to lose, live to win. Love God, hate sin.
Right here.
You got to love God, hate sin, refuse to lose, live to win. Love God, hate
Sin. No, this is Myron LeFevre and Broken Heart. I never liked guitar solos. For the most part.
see the black or white, so don't look for gray. Lots of fashion, keep out where you want to go. Religion makes it hard with its prisons and its rules. But in the end, you either win the wise men or the fools. You better love God, hate sin, choose to lose, live to win. Love God, hate sin. You better love God, hate sin, choose to lose, live to win.
Obvious globe.
Refuse to lose, live to win. Oh, love God,
us, America. Joel Friday TV. Coming up next, you can hear Hake talking on this video. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye.